Hey there, it's Brandon from i3D Themes and i3D TV, and this week we're going to do another weekly recap what's been going on here at the i3D Themes Code Labs. Okay, so the focus of this week is really all about user experience, and more you're going to experience for yourself as a website operator that more and more of your time and energy is going to be spent on user experience. So what that means is, what is the user experiencing when they come to your site? Is your site loading fast? Does it present well? There's a whole bunch of different factors involved. And this week also was a focus for us for user experience. We spent the first couple days of the week getting Gifted ready. And if you're already signed up for our weekly, or not weekly, but product notification newsletters, you would have already realized that the Gifted website template for Dreamweaver and Expression Web was launched on Wednesday. So we're really super excited about it. It is a, excuse me, extremely slick professional design that would be awesome for artists or photographers or sculptors, anybody that wants to really showcase what they have in visual form with photographs. It's just beautiful. So if you haven't seen it, go take a look. I'll see if I can maybe drop a link in the comments below this video once the video's done. So we've been working on that. It looks fantastic. Thanks to Colin for polishing it up. Also, you probably heard me talking about it last week. It just seems that finally website operators are realizing that they really have to get their websites converted over to be mobile responsive. It is key. It's part of Google and their user experience. They want to provide results for their users when they're typing in, typity type, I want to search on whatever. They want to give results that are going to be the best for their users' experience. And that means giving them results which their users are going to love. That means, are the pages mobile responsive? It also means a whole bunch of other things too, which is what I'm going to get into in just a minute. But it seems as though finally website operators are realizing that their rankings are dropping a bit, and their competition is converting the competition sites over to mobile responsive, and of course they're being left behind. So it's really super important to make sure that your site is mobile responsive, and you probably already realize this, but we're inundated with requests to upgrade and transfer sites into a mobile responsive framework. So we've been pretty busy with that. Also, again, on the topic of user experience, something else that I'm really excited about that we started development on this last week, and already it's been great. It's been a few years since we have updated the Numo website plugins interface, and if you're already a user of these plugins, you would have probably noticed at the bottom of your interface a little notification that says coming soon, Numo 2017. So what is that? It's great. Actually, this is a sneak peek right here. We've been working on it. It is completely revamped. The previous version was mobile responsive, as it had to be, and it's been 3 or 4 years since we had updated that framework. But this is brand new. It's got capabilities and functions that are designed specifically for your experience as an administrator on the back end. So you're going to see information here in these cards, these tiles, that are pertinent to the maintenance of your website. So for Accelerator, it's going to show you your current page speed. It's going to, for shopping cart, it's going to show you your sales for the last couple of days. For user accounts, how many are pending and how many are active. If you have the ticket system, it's going to show you unanswered or unread tickets. The guest book, the form wizard, anything that hasn't been reviewed that needs to be reviewed, it's all here. And we've designed this interface so that you'll rearrange it as you want, with the priority of the information towards the top however you want. It's just click and drag. Really beautiful. We've also integrated the Who's Online website plugin more so that it appears just up at the top in the bar here. so that at any time when you're in the admin area, you can just hover over that. You can see how many people are online, hover up and see what their IPs are and what pages they're on, and if they have an account, who they are. It is focused on your user experience. It's beautiful, and we've got a whole bunch more things that we're going to be putting into it. We're going to be putting a lot of this information into a announcement email that'll be sending out next week with some screenshots and just how how great it's going to be. And then in the coming weeks, we'll be giving some more details about each of the features. Along with that, the reason that we're developing this is because the Accelerator plugin required some new stuff, some technology in it. And that's what we're putting into this interface here. And so Accelerator will be compatible with this framework. We'll also be giving some information about how you upgrade to this particular framework. But Accelerator, that's the other thing that we've been working on. Again, based and focused on user experience. Because when people come to your web, there goes my screens again. That's my backdrop, right? So when people come to your website, how fast does your page load? Well, it might seem like it loads pretty good, but according to Google, is it doing everything it can? And is it doing everything it can and has a high score compared to everybody else that's listed for the same key terms as you are? See, it's very important that your focus is on user experience. How great a user experience are your customers having, your visitors having? Page speed, mobile responsiveness, content on the page, video on the page. Are you giving them all the things that make a great user experience? So we're building this tool, Accelerator, to help you with that, because the Google page speed insights and the information it shares, it's really difficult. If you're not a web developer, it's really difficult to implement some of this stuff. And just some of the features of Accelerator already that we've got running, addressing so many of the aspects that Google PageSpeed requires of a user. I mean, I've got a list here. I'm just going to read some of it. Do you know what minification means? You might. Okay, it means getting rid of all the junk, the extra white space in the page. The system automatically minifies your HTML. It automatically minifies your CSS and your JavaScript. Do you know what gzip compression is? Probably not. It's kind of technical. Anyways, you don't need to know about that because our system adds gzip compression for your entire site, just like that automatically. Browser caching, do you know how to leverage that? Don't worry, you're not going to need to. This plugin is going to do it for you automatically. Do you know about render blocking resources? Do you know what that is? Don't worry about it. What it is when your page loads, up at the top part of your page, your CSS and your JavaScript, every one of those elements that needs to load in order for your page to render, it's called a blocking resource because the HTML can't render until those things are loaded. And that's one of the things that Google really pushes on is in order to get your page HTML loaded fast and rendered fast to the page, is to defer that stuff to the bottom of the page. Now, you've probably got web pages that have JavaScript everywhere and even inline in the page. And of course, you've got all your CSS references up at the top of your page. What Google wants you to put all that at the bottom of the page or defer it. That's a lot of work, depending on how many pages you have, right? So the application does this for you. It automatically takes all that stuff and automatically moves it seamlessly and accurately without any JavaScript errors, nothing like that, and puts it at the bottom of the page. But there's a critical aspect of this. You can defer all this stuff all you like, but there is a key thing that this step requires, and that is, so when your page loads, and if you've deferred all that information to the bottom of the page, you get what's called a FOUT. What's a FOUT? The first time I heard that, I'm like, that's a made-up word. It is. It's an acronym. It's Flash of Unstyled Text. You've probably seen it where things just don't line up until all the CSS loads or the JavaScript loads. You get a FOUT. And, well, it's not the worst thing in the world. It certainly doesn't leave a very clean impression. And how to get rid of that is you have to know every single piece of CSS that applies to anything what's called above the page. So if this page went lower down, this is the point of the above the fold. So you want to make sure that stuff is styled. And so what Accelerator does is actually figures out all the CSS that it needs for the top of the page, stores it so that when the page gets loaded, and you don't need to do anything, this is just all automatic, it goes and injects that into the top of the page so that you don't have that fout. So you defer all that CSS to the bottom of the page, you defer all the JavaScript, and it automatically injects the proper stuff for what's called critical CSS, or above the fold CSS. And this is not even all the features of the Accelerator. It makes it lightning fast for Google page speed, and it improves your customer's user experience, which is really what we're concerned about when trying to rank well in the search engines, because that is really Google's main goal, is to make sure that they provide results for people that are searching that have a great user experience, because they want to provide, they don't want to give results for cruddy web pages or pages that load slow, or pages that aren't going to render well on tablets and mobile phones, or maybe aren't engaging, they don't have video on them, all these things. So that's what Google's main focus is user experience. And as web developers, you are going to need to focus on that more and more. Accelerator, that is tool just for you, so you don't have to worry about that aspect of things. And we're going to be bringing some other tools online in the months that follow that are also going to help you with making sure that your user experience is top-notch. Okay, so that's about what's been going on this week. We are in development overdrive here. We're trying to get so much done, and we're having some really great success, and we're really excited about these new features and applications that we're developing for you. So stay tuned. We're going to have more information in the coming weeks about, and there's my screensaver again. Hey, my backdrop. I'll have to extend that for the next video. We'll have more information here over the next couple weeks about the different features and more in-depth how they're going to work for you and make your life better. Because that's really what it's all about, is making your life easier. We don't want to add more time to your calendar. Well, we want to add more time to your life so that you can go and do more things. We want to save you time, and that's what our application is going to be doing here. So anyways, thanks so much for joining me. We will see you next week. Actually, we've got a webcast on Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific, where we are going to go over another one of our website plugins in our suite of Numo website enhancements. And this last week, I think we did the help desk. Don't know what we're going to do next week, but stay tuned. That's on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. And of course, we do the Friday weekly recaps here, somewhere between 12 and 2, something like that, whenever we have time. So hope you like that, and we'll see you again next week.